What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the end of the Chaos Legion era because we are finally about to reach it. It's been 3 very, very long years, but we are at the light at the end of the tunnel. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming very soon. And what I mean by that is just everything that was associated with the run-up that happened in 2021 all the way up until now. And I'm going to get very specific in a moment, right? So just to take people back down memory, quick trip down memory lane, we started with, the reward cards coming in early for Chaos Legion, right? So before Chaos Legion actually launched, because the Untamed reward cards were essentially, just like everything with Untamed, everything was like bought up. The Untamed reward cards with all the new accounts that were coming online, we essentially ran out of print, right? Which is kind of crazy for us to do so all the way back then. So there were actually no reward cards in the chest in, when I joined in, August of 2021. And in September, the team launched a lot. I believe it was September, but they launched the new Chaos Legion reward cards. And this was the Pellicor and the Jin O'Shaughnessy class, right? So the first round. And then, of course, later on, in about 8 months later or 9 months later, in June of the following year, when the new ranked rewards came out, we got the second round, which had your Jared Scar, Countess Sinesh, all that. And then, fast forward to the beginning of 2023, and you had the Soulbound reward cards, which have been in print, right, the entire time until just a couple of weeks ago. Now, to go along with that, you had the core set, which came out in December of 2021, and then you had Rift Watchers, which came out in September of 2022. So we've had 3 years of cards that have just been, it's been a lot. They've been oversupplied, both the reward cards, soulbound and not, as well as the core set, and even Rift Watchers to a certain extent, right? You can see here that there's 120,000 Rift Watcher packs that are still circulating, not open. We did not sell as many towards the end. But the thing that I actually am going to focus on here for this video is vouchers. And yes, I know I always talk about vouchers and I never talk about vouchers, but here's the point, right? Like, vouchers were a Chaos Legion era aspect, right? An addition. They came in with the launch of Chaos Legion pre-sale in October, October of 2021. And ever since then, right, just like everything else within Chaos Legion, they have been a drag on the ecosystem, even more so, I would say, than the cards. Yes, I know there's a ton of cards that are sitting out there, both reward cards as well as core cards, but vouchers have probably been the most, I hate to say it this way, but I'm just being honest, like the most directionless of everything that has come in the Chaos Legion era, mainly because they're printed into oblivion and their role has changed so much since they were first introduced, right? So 3 years ago, they came in as a special access token to get involved in the pre-sale for Chaos Legion. And they were trading for like $25, right? At one point in history, which is kind of insane to think about. But from there, it became less about being a VIP. It became less about having some kind of perk and access, early access to things. And it became more of a discount token because the monetary policy for vouchers essentially changed, right? I forgot how many we were printing a day early on, and then they doubled it, and then they doubled it during that weird phase 2 pre-sale. And then it became 40,000 a day, which it has been since, I believe, January of 2022. So 2.5 years of just printing, early on, it was just the 20,000 vouchers a day. And then in mid 2022, when node licenses came along, 20,000 vouchers a day was added to that. So over 2 years of printing 40,000 vouchers a day and trying to find some kind of use case for them. And essentially, I think what the biggest argument recently, right, and Crypto Eater, I appreciate for spearheading this, but the biggest argument was that it's taking away utility. Like, we're trying to give it utility, but we're also trying to give so many things in the game utility. And essentially what ends up happening is if you're trying to give vouchers utility, if you're trying to give everything utility, then you're taking away utility from other areas. And mainly we saw that in DEC and indirectly SPS, right, through the flywheel. Vouchers became this discount token. And because they were printed into oblivion, DEC essentially through that discount, right? Through the voucher discount, essentially was being printed to infinity as well. So with vouchers now having a very streamlined approach, I know we had a proposal to actually completely sunset vouchers that did not pass. But we're finally getting this voucher store, which means that we are going to streamline voucher utility. It's going to be removed from everything else within the next couple of days. And there's only one place that you can spend vouchers, only one card, at least early on, that you'll be able to spend vouchers. Now this is at the request of a proposal that did pass. Shout out to Bjangles for putting that out there as an alternative. People like that better. But to me, this is good enough, right? This is what we were promised, right? For a lot of the folks that are trying to hold the team to their promises, we were promised some kind of voucher store where you could get cool, exclusive things, right? So it's going to start off with a promotional card. We'll see how, that grows and evolves. Again, I don't think it even needs to. If the team just provides 4 cards, one every quarter over the course of a year, that's more than enough for people to spend their vouchers on. And at the end of the day, if you want to, right, if you don't, or let me put it this way, if you don't want your vouchers, if you're not interested in that promotional card, you can sell your vouchers and go buy something else. And the best part about this is now you're not going to be doing that on Hive Engine. You're going to be doing that in-game in a liquidity pool that, again, we don't have the details for it yet, but my guess is going to be set up something similar to Land where it's not creating an inflationary, avenue for SPS, right? With the voucher, first it was like voucher Hive liquidity pool, then a voucher SPS, right? We removed that, so there's no SPS rewards being allocated. So now SPS is less inflationary because of this, as well as hopefully a burn, right? If it's going to be a voucher DECLP, if it's something similar to the Land in terms of like the grain DECLP, and there's even just a small amount that's burned. I think it's 5% burn for the grain DECLP, 5% burn and 5% going to LP providers. Again, I don't know. That's what they're going to do exactly because this isn't necessarily a Land item. But if they do create something like that, similar in-game liquidity pool, it will go from being inflationary for SPS to actually deflationary for DEC. So every time someone like myself who loves to sell vouchers, every time I sell them, I'm going to end up burning some DEC or some tokens in the mix for this. And I think that's super important. I think this is all going to start to head in a better direction just because everything that has been associated with Chaos Legion, unfortunately, right? And this is like, I'm the class of Chaos Legion, so this is near and dear to my heart. But unfortunately, everything that has been associated with Chaos Legion has just been an absolute drag on the economy. And vouchers have been one of the biggest offenders. So we get to rectify that mistake. The team has worked tirelessly over the last, couple of months and years to try and shore up a lot of the areas. And, Matt is almost closing in on his 1-year anniversary of becoming CEO. I'm happy to see that we're taking these steps, and it actually makes me excited for what will come in the future. But just knowing that we can, with this final act of vouchers, right, and streamlining the voucher utility, that we are now officially moving forward into the rebellion era of this game, of this project, that to me is exciting, right? Because we can finally put a lot of this stuff behind us. And that's not to say that it's all fixed, right? I think there's still a lot of overhang that we will need to get through. But now everything, like the pieces are in place, right? The pieces are in place. The game plan is ahead of us. Try and get as many new players as possible and take advantage of the bull run to bring them in at a time when, hype and euphoria and, just people looking for projects is at an all-time high, and use that to essentially solve a lot of the problems that we've had. We've closed a lot of the loopholes. We've closed a lot of the areas that offer, infinite inflation or cards or whatever it is. DEC inflation, right? Even with the old reward cards, even with guilds, not guilds, but specifically like gladiator cards, closing off all of those different exploits. And now we are ready to take a step forward. It's like the Chaos Legion was this huge, massive, like one step back. After the team took 2 steps forward with Beta and Untamed, it's like the Chaos Legion was this huge one step back in order for the team to understand how and where all of these exploits were and where we're coming from, designing the game and the game economy in a way where it could not be pushed to that kind of extreme, and putting the game and the project in a better place. So I look forward to this. We are rounding the corner here, ending what, I'm going to dub the Chaos Legion era with this streamlining of voucher utility as the last step, and officially officially moving into the Rebellion era. And I'm excited to see what that will bring. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe this is overblown. Maybe I'm just being a little over dramatic, whatever the case is. But I genuinely believe that this final step is the step that puts us out of the Chaos Legion era and has us focus forward and puts us in a much better position. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.